Welcome to our final of this series of Humanity Unboxed with me, Michelle Cheyne from the Wisdom Seeker Society, and my co-host and wonderful thinker, Michaell Magrutsche. Thanks for joining me, Michaell. How are you this morning?
Alive. That's my answer. That's the answer. Alive. Uh, because if I say I'm horrible, I'm dragging the whole podcast down, and if I'm saying I'm shaming everybody else. So I'm alive.
Good. Well, I'm very happy you're alive, and I'm very happy I get to chat to you today. I had a bit of a mess up with the link, and I think I sent you the
No
wrong one.
problem.
I'm extra happy to have found and connected with you here today. We kind of started touching, I think, on leadership last week, and our ideas around leadership. And we were going to go somewhere else. We don't really have a specific
Mhm.
direction, but I think there's still a lot to say about leadership itself. And I don't know, it's everywhere. It's the red car theory.
Yeah.
When you start thinking about or talking about one specific thing, then that's all you see. I only see people talking about leadership, and I still don't feel right about it. Still don't want to be a leader, but that doesn't mean that I want to be a follower either. Um, so I wonder if
You
we should
shouldn't. You
kind of go into
shouldn't.
it
You shouldn't
more.
be a follower. You should
Mm-mm.
not be a. You should never be a follower. You should do your job, but not being a follower. There's a difference. System relevant and human centric. So I see it. What we created was actually, and the audience can actually see the magic that happened because you and I are in awareness and not into. We're telling just the woman. We're telling just that race. We're just telling this niche. We don't have three steps. We just say you got to experience their own, and especially with me, no education, you know, uh, and extreme nerdiverse, you nerdiverse. I want to get people to feel the magic that humans actually be able to do when they are one by one, when they see that one by oneness, because nature didn't give us just one by one. Oh, okay, make them one by one. If it was systemic nature, then we would be all the same, and there would be woman and man because we have to procreate, and that's
Mm.
it. But we are one of one, and
Yeah.
so and our knowledge that we don't do knowledge, we do experience us, and we are the example of what we actually preach.
Mm.
And we started with what is valuable for every human to segregate human centricity, which is one of each person. Each person is one of one. We are part of nature. And then there's system relevance, what we do in our creations. Like we create a company, and I'm a CEO in that company, or I'm a specialist in watches in that company. So
Yeah.
that's the system relevance. And when you do that, it's for every human the same. It's not like, oh, just women should know that. Every human. The
Yeah.
second one is leadership. The second one is leadership, which was the second series, and
Mm-hmm.
the second series because the system relevance drives us to do leadership
Mm.
because we want to be all leaders to finally be ourselves, that one of one, to express that one of one, to have the idea that one of one, and that's why I say don't follow, do your job, but you know be be one,
Be
be
you.
one of
Yes.
one. Be
Be
one of one.
your best you.
And your life is discovering why you are one on one,
Mm.
and how does that interact with other people.
Yeah. And
And that got us to the leader of, again, the circle comes together where it's about system relevant, where it's never enough. And I think the interesting thing of never enough, and you and I dove into privately into it as,
mm,
and we found there's no higher truth than that, because what is motivating every human, and every human is motivating, okay, we're making $1,000 today, tomorrow we have to do $2,000. That is systemic growth. That
mm,
is not human growth, and I think that's where it's disturbed. So basically human grow all the time, we know that. human prison, you will grow. But
Yeah.
systemically, you grow. See, it's taken human-centric. Systemic takes human centricity and makes this system relevant. And all of a sudden, yeah, in order to grow, you have to do 2,000 tomorrow. And in a year, you have to have 10 companies and you have 10 things. And we know 95%, I think 95% of businesses after the third year not working. So 5% of business only work. So it's insanity. So why we, and I want to just make the people that we are insane because we instinctively, human-centrically, copy the tribe. But
I don't know if it's instinctive though. I don't think it is, because not all of us feel right with that. I struggle to copy the tribe. I'd much rather be the crazy moon lady that plays with crystals at the river in a wigwam. And maybe that's differences in personality, or maybe, I mean, that we can go
that's
on
uniqueness too, because people have relations to crystal, people have relations to spirituality, people have relations to whatever, and that's their, their path to get to find who you are. And if you need religion, if you need to be a monk, that's okay. If you need to be a crystal player or whatever, that's okay too. If you need to be an artist, that's okay too.
Yeah.
So,
and you don't have to stick to it either. You can change, because that's the whole point of being human.
100 times. I changed
and
100
we
times.
change constantly. But now I want to throw something in here. I have been thinking about this quite a bit, obviously, and I was thinking about power. How does power fall into this? Because as a leader, there's a lot of power in there, and there's a lot of darkness in there for me. I don't think most of successful leaders, whether we go to, Myth or Winston Churchill or whoever we look at, there's darkness. There is, ego. We all need ego, but there's a something there. So for me, it's opposing power and strength. I want to build on my strength, within myself. But if I build on power, then I need to,
manipulate.
Yes, manipulate
Then you need
others. Yes. So what do you think of that? How do we bring that into this conversation?
Again, system relevant, you need power. Human-centric. If you're human-centric, you're powerful, you are the representation of real one-on-oneness. So you don't need to rule people. You don't need to manipulate it. I don't need to say certain vernacular to tweak you into this area.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, because we talked in the second one about twisting the plates is the best, because I've talked to super leaders from low to highest, and they all say that's the best thing ever, the best metaphor, twisting all the plates and not saying, oh, I need just the green ones and let the red one drop, so that, and if that is the case, which we said in the second, is that's the case, then it's a teamwork. Then leadership is a team function. Human-centrically, leadership is a team function.
Yes.
But system relevant, it's a power over, it's a manipulating over. And I think I've thought about this too. And I thought, for me, because I was a politician, I was a I'm still a consultant for politicians. So the stuff is, when you get into the leadership, and I was 3 times homeless on the street almost, and just about almost, I slept on the street already.
Yeah.
And I was working for the biggest media company, the family. I was working for so I saw both sides, and they're basically all the same. And that's why I'm so adamant about segregating that. And what I found is, the moment, let's say I'm hiring you, Michelle, and I own a big company. I own Google. I hire you.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say Google. Say I have a super company. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hire you. And then you see basically the lack that even those top companies have, because they don't need 200 pounds, 2,000 pounds a month, they need 2 million a month.
Mm.
So they have an exponentially. So if we have a lack with 2,000 pounds a month, they have a lack with 1 million pounds a month.
Yeah.
and the problem, because you have to scale, right? Scale is the stupidest word I've ever heard. You know, you gotta scale it, and disruption and all this stuff. Have you ever thought what these things mean other than system relevance? They don't mean anything human centrically, you know.
Yeah.
And then we go, yes, and then they find this. So I get to be a leader, and all of a sudden I learn, okay, this is what I have to do. I have to push people down. I have to take advantage of people, even if it doesn't resonate with me, and I have to do it. And this is where we talked about pushing people in the corner. They can't think rationally. Because if I want to support myself, Michelle, I have to be a mean leader or a manipulative leader to lead these people to do what we need, what the company needs. And since the company employs these people and money is survival, we actually do the whole stick to each other, and we push down. And if you work for me, I'm the boss, you know, and I have the money. And if money is survival, I have the money, which is wrong, because I should not have, because I have money, I have the power. That should never be, because what it means, if I have money, I have manipulation. And it should be that money, we talked about it, I think too, about money is the most greatest invention after fire and the wheel, because it is the representation of your human contribution, not of your system relevant company, of your human, because I create hammers, you have chickens. How many hammers do you need? But exchange. So the money allows us, you know, that money allows us to exchange freely with all the uniquenesses that we have around. And then it became a skill. And out of that skill, because it's never enough. And it really turbocharged with financial principles, because financial principles say it has to be more. It has to be more. Before capitalism, I'm talking, it has to be more. And since we are part of nature, we need balance. We are like nature. Our thing is balance. That's why we have to sleep. That's why we have to rest. That's why we talk to 20 people. We have to rest and digest that.
Yeah. And so we need more of that. So to have the strength within yourself to realize what it is and who you are is the power, if we had to use that word now, that you have. But to have power over others is where the issue comes in. And also to, you know, you saying money is great and it's amazing, but using money as a connection to your value is where the issue for me comes in, because I'm only valuable if I have a lot of money or if you pay me more, you know. So it's about where we put money into the equation of who we are.
Yeah, you said it so perfectly. Money is not who we are, because you see, even if people get extremely, they're still killing themselves because they expected, they thought, okay, the tribe says if I do this, I'm finding myself, and then I'm powerful, and then I can experience myself. And you can't, because the more, which we said last episodes, the more you are up, the more you are limited. The less you are up, the less you're limited you are. And so the less you find yourself. If the more money you have, the more power you have, the less you find your uniqueness. That means a lot of this time is wasted, because you're not really finding you. You know, it's
unless you have balance.
Yeah, you have both.
You have balance, because in that balance you can have a lot of money and you can have
exactly
everything.
I'm not against money. Money is wonderful, and everybody should have as much money as they want. But it needs to be the balance. It's the balance. And also, when we have this financial principle that constantly, because every system is based on financial principles. And when financial principles, that's our artificial habitat that we created, our systems, our companies, our houses, our hotels, we created that. When they all have that little link, it's never enough. Yeah, you're on vacation, and vacation is a good thing, right? In the old days, people had like 14 days vacation. Now the average vacation in America is like 3 or 4 days. I mean, imagine that.
If
It's
you
just,
take vacation, if you can allow yourself, or if there's enough, because it's a
yeah,
surplus. It's been
yeah,
seen as a surplus instead of a space of recharging, or switching your computer off over the weekends,
yeah,
or setting your boundaries. All those things are part of creating space for the balance, because if you
yeah.
don't create the space, then you just get thrown into more, and following the rules doesn't give you the things that they say it's going to give you. Believe me,
No,
it doesn't.
no.
No.
Because the top people doing what they want,
Mm.
the people that get to the power, success, and everything, they do what they want. And because you can't take the human centricity out of humans. Even if you are the super system relevant person that knows all the rules and regulations, when it comes to it's never enough and you better deliver, you push that leader into the corner, and that leader has to, and then we call them they're mean or whatever. No, no, no. They're just not strong enough to say, I'm not doing this. And
Yeah.
this is not that's not a belittling. They're just not. I mean, how can you, when the whole world, 8 billion people, think about that one thing? It's never enough, and everyone wants to just produce more, produce more, produce more. We have already so many products. You and I wouldn't have to, if you and we have not even the time to look at each other's products. We have
Exactly.
so many products.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's insanity. When we have not, the time is really the highest thing. Time
Mm.
is the most valuable thing.
Mm.
And when when you just keep producing more, and nobody really experienced themselves. Nobody experienced their uniqueness, because we always detracted. You have to do this. And
Or
then,
not. You do have
yeah,
your choice in that, so it's to
yeah,
kind of step away from that craziness sometimes, and just to say, well, I choose not to do that. And I don't, in the whole thing, we do need leaders, in a way that we need people that encourage us. So I mean, within a country, within a system, within a sports team, within all those places, there is a space for someone to be the connection point to you, though, not to the hierarchy. um I can only use South Africa as an
yeah.
example. Yes, spinning the plates, exactly.
It's not
And
about just the two plates, not in a sports team, and that's why you have it in the lower action, the smaller teams, like in a sports team. You really experience leadership, but
yeah,
you less and less experiences because we have to be bigger all the time. What about having, instead of having 8 companies, the tech companies, having dozens of it, and having a consortium that talks about where to get the best thing and have competition actually to thrive more. It's not about owning everything and make it. The generalizations of humans is our biggest, sharpest knife, where we cut ourselves the most, because we
yes,
really not allowing. We're not allowing the individuality to grow. We said, this is the culture of this company. You want to play here? That's what you have to do.
yeah. And I mean, in generalization, in general, is an issue.
Yeah.
I talk, when I talk about a sports team, I talk about the South African rugby team, which is
Yeah.
a national sport, and we have an
Yeah.
amazing captain within that team, and you can see how he built. Like, he's not there to have the power or to be the most important. For him and for his culture is
Yeah.
to spin the plates, and to make
Exactly.
sure that he is there for the others in the team, and he supports, and he knows them, and and that's important. Same with Nelson Mandela. In his later years, he was also, there's a lot of history within that, but to become that person, and to allow others to grow and become the leaders, in a not in a powerful aspect, but in a in a wide, not a high,
Mm-hmm.
concept of encouraging, sovereignty within each other instead of
Yeah.
showing others how they're supposed to be.
I never told people what to do. I never did that. I
Mm-mm.
always, I try to get the best out of each and have them all spin. Because if I
Yeah.
say, okay, Michelle is really good in this, but Frank is really bad, and I'm focusing on Michelle because Michelle is, getting success, the win. See, the win isn't win over. Even if I win over, I'll lose. Not in
Yeah.
sports. And that's a game. Everybody knows it's a game. But in life, it's in system relevant thing is winning or losing. Even the winner, all lose. It's because life isn't. There's no winning and losing in nature. In nature
No.
is it's a dancing. It's a dance.
And that brings me to that a very interesting concept that I'm also playing with, the difference between finite and infinite games. So if we
Yeah,
play a finite game, we're playing a match. It's a
yeah,
whatever sport. There's a beginning, there's an end, there's
yeah.
rules, there's time, there's a winner, and it's done. There's a kind of
Hmm.
a death and live aspect
Hmm.
to it. Where in life, it's more about no, you can only play if you want to play. Like you choose to play, you're not forced to play, and there is no end. It carries on, and the rules are, its spontaneity is the thing to expect, which makes it so much more engaging because you're a part
Hmm.
of something that is growing and changing constantly. And I agree, yeah, with what Flores is saying as well. It's the people who are the company. The people are the organizations. Um,
Yeah.
we need to
Steve Jobs
connect.
didn't do it all. Steve Jobs didn't do it all. Okay.
Yeah, no,
Right.
yeah, exactly,
I mean,
exactly.
it's like, oh, he did Apple. Okay. Oh my God. But do you see how we look at it? We
Mm.
look at it. Oh, gee, it's like Steve Jobs was 24 hours working and creating a phone. He couldn't even, in 24 hours, he couldn't do it.
No,
And this is what this perception, that's why this human centric and system relevant perception is so important, that you understand your own oneness, that you understand your own oneness. Because when you are generalizing in system relevance, you lose. You lose.
yeah.
It's and you said something I want to come that what did you just say? And before she um
But
I believe, say what did you say?
something about the finite and infinite games.
Yeah, kind of. Yes, because life is a long game.
Yes, yeah. There's
life,
no
life is a
end.
long game.
Yeah,
Anybody that wants to fight that, it is a long game, but it is system relevantly made as a short game. Because Michelle, you're only as long important for my company as long as you make wins. The moment, so we are forced in a finite game that
mm,
is unnatural, because it's unnatural. It's not natural. Natural isn't a finite game in nature is a fight, a short fight. Who
yeah.
who is dominant,
The
and
leader.
then once, yeah, and once they know there's dominant, they get separate, even if they injure themselves.
Yeah,
It's not a long war. For example, war, it's completely system relevant, has nothing to do, and war is not anymore what it was. And it's not
money.
what it was. It's like my family against your family, and we were fighting each other.
Yeah.
It's not what it was, and we wouldn't fight for 3 years against each other and kill each other. So,
No, no.
and
That's
this
a
is how,
whole other object. That's a whole other
yeah,
subject.
yeah,
Yeah.
unconscious. That's why we are so unconscious, because we generalize. We unconscious, we generalize, and we have DNA driven, when you're pushed in a corner, this is the thing. I think this is with everybody is gonna eat. When you're pushed in a corner, you trust the tribe, because the tribe is your safety. When I'm pushing you in a corner, we all DNA driven. Then when in corner, you go to family. You hide out with your unique ones, because
Yeah.
that's the microcosm of we are all in the same boat, if we like it or not.
Mm.
See, this is what humans still not can comprehend. We're all in the same boat, if you like it or not. I'm not saying you should hug everybody, but you should start dancing with everybody, because that's the only way, the best way I found. Keep dancing, and you don't, if somebody steps on your feet, get another dance partner, you know,
Yeah. Yeah. And
and
or send them to dance, whatever.
there's
But
dance club, no, whatever.
yeah,
But there's 8 billion. You don't think we're gonna find out the right? That's what it is. One of one. To find it, you have 8 billion choices and possibilities to dance with other humans, to
yeah,
find your one of oneness.
yeah,
And what we do is generalizing and system relevant and whatever, which was good too. Also, I cannot say system relevant is bad. No, system relevant is very good, because at that time, when we were very primitive, it allowed us to create everything we have.
yeah,
So but now we grew, and
yeah.
system, because it's never enough, stayed stable and said, we need money too, because it's not like just you and I need money. They need money. Survival for systems is much more than us, because we have a creativity. We can create something, but systems need money. Only the stuff they need also enough. They need a function of enough, and not just the form of needing money. See, there's another thing. You said finite, infinite, the form and the function. The
Yeah.
system relevant focuses on form. Human centricity on function. What is your function as one of one? What can you contribute?
Yeah.
And that's the what we want to make the point to, before we end. I want to just make the point, because this is how we promoted this. Why do leaders have to segregate? Why they cannot be team players? Which we know that twirl. You're a team player when you twirl, but the bigger you get, you can't twirl, because the bigness of the huge size of the company needs more money. And when there's no money, you need to push and manipulate and get people to do this. The whole marketing thing is a
Yeah.
total.
Yeah.
And by the way, marketing, we know, since it's not a growing it's not a growing what do you say thing work, because
Yeah.
since the Second World War, it's 1% of GDP. It's
Yeah.
never more, it's not a growing business. So we trying to say, I'm going to make you the best leader. For what? If you don't have anything to lead, you pay me to become a leader, and then
Yeah.
you think I cannot sell that. I personally cannot sell you a 3-step program. I cannot. And all do the same. They say they don't really want to do that, but how are you gonna survive? And I think we waste so much time, instead of really going into who am I? How is my human-centric worth, my contribution? How can I contribute? And then, I'm going for me. I was still 50. I was all these system relevant things, but, arts commission, I worked with Evans, wrote books and all this stuff, and no reward. No, I had no fulfillment. I'm now more fulfilled with you than I was with all that time, because I didn't learn anything. I was just playing the game that everybody plays. And I was miserable. I was 50. I was miserable. And now I wake up, I'm happy.
Yeah. But it's also a drain of energy, isn't it? Because if you're dancing and you are learning and you are growing, and as Floris also says, transcend and include, if you're doing this whole beautiful dance with others and learning and earning money in the process, I mean, that's not cutting any of that off, or using systems. Also what Floris said was quite very relevant as to systems and structures would only need to be in service of humanity, to make them thrive, to create, to let their full potential service. It's people who are the company. It's people. We are the organizations, and that's it, isn't it?
No, why did we create systems? Think about the tribes, right?
Yeah.
The tribes were together, and there was one guy that was really good with horses, and there was another guy that was really good with cooking, and there was a woman that was super with the kids. She was, everybody loved her with the kids. All the kids loved her more than their own parents, and so we made the system so that if I'm a woman and I have to feed my child and have to get the food and whatever, I could actually go in the woods myself here and then and just be by myself. And that's why we create system, to be in service of humans. And now humans, the system relevance and that constant lack, it's never enough, which is a flawed system, a flawed system, that it's never enough.
Mm-hmm.
You need to balance never enough. And I hope enough people, and I don't think that experts will help in this because they're so in it anyway. I think that humans say, how can we make all the other humans here, the one of ones, that think, how can we make financial principles enough, a value proposition that where you don't even get a letter written by the IRS or by the tax thing and says, thank you, Michelle, you wrote, you did 20 years, you paid your taxes.
Yeah.
You never even get that. That's how far we came, how far away we came from balance and enough. And it's not reward. It needs to be rewarded that you're doing the right stuff, you know, and not just punished while you don't do the right stuff. You know,
but also internally as well. I mean, I love the tribe concept as a global tribe, you know, and finding people who do what they love. It's one thing you can teach skills and you can teach how to do things, but if people are in love with what it gives them, then they can learn anything. And both of us are octopi, you know, we love doing different things and we love being different. We actually started this, I was supposed to mention this. The reason why I started this series of ours was because it was a weird Pride Day, or, you know, to be proud of your weirdness. And funny enough, we're ending it now, all systems, I know, on the first day of Neurodiversity Week. So, you know, it's great that I think the flaws in these systems are being showed out, but not enough yet. And I think we should dance, as you say, with each other a lot more and embrace our own weirdness and our own uniqueness, because we are one of one.
I hate weirdness. That's a system relevant word. We are
I
not weird.
love weirdness because everybody's weird, you know.
Yeah, everybody's weird. Yeah, but they have to say everybody's weird because everybody's unique. I
Yeah.
like the everybody's here. I don't like weird because it's so dirty. It's like God, you know.
It's been
When
made
people talk about
dirty.
it's
Right.
really dirty. Weird and God is really dirty, and that's why.
And if you look at the origins of the word weird, it's actually quite a big compliment. And this is the whole base of it all. It's the systems are ruling the systems and forgetting about the people inside, which is making them possible. So to embrace our humanness without the
They are
system.
normal people, Michelle. The people are just having. Elon Musk, for me, is a normal person. He's just cannot handle his system relevance. That guy is made the richest guy in it, and look at what he does. Look how he looks. Look how he's acting, and there's nothing wrong with this kid. There's nothing wrong with this kid, but when you get, because look at all of us. Look at the beatings and the stuff and how to abuse each other. We abuse each other because we are all pushed in a corner. From what? It's never enough. It's never enough, and we can never digest our physicalness. We can never digest, hey, I had 3 meetings today or 4 meetings, and I need to think about them. You can't even think rationally. The moment you're pushed in a corner, the cutest animal is biting you. And we are all animals. We are part of nature. And we are all pushed in a corner, and we can't think. Nobody can think rational. Nobody, including us, you know, because we are affected from this. Because even if you and I want to be not angry, and we go in a crowd with everybody's angry, we can segregate. We're all sitting in the same boat. That's why I think it is so important that people wake up to their uniqueness, to their one of oneness, and ask yourself, if you say, I want to be a CEO, is this why nature gave you the one of oneness, to be a CEO and to be a multimillionaire? Because it's never ending. Also, what is ending on top of Elon Musk, when you are the top, then you're gonna just be the God and say, I'm gonna do this for humanity. No, nature never says the one elephant in the jungle, he is the leader, he has to take care of the whole, and it's not made for that. It's a synergistic growth that we have to see our human potential. Everybody is one. The reason why we are one of one, otherwise we would be all the same. The reason why we are one is the synergy, to fit the synergy. And nobody is weird. We are all weird, or we are all unique. I like that we are all unique, because and nobody's God. I have now billions of billions. I'm not even interested in this anymore. I'm gonna save the world. Are you insane? And also humans, if you think whoever wins the election, right? If you think that any of those guys is going to save you, no, nobody says.
No one's coming to save anybody anywhere in the world or the universe.
And we talked about this, I think, 15 years ago. If we would believe everything politicians and news told us, we would be dead 100 times. This world humanity wouldn't exist 100 times at least. And that's why I'm saying we are actually keeping the world alive, all the uniqueness, keeping it alive, but we are told we don't. We have to do this, we have to do that, and that's pushes on this thing. I wanted to empower every single human being that the world works because you are alive. The world keeps going on because you are here. Because 15, I literally say, and everybody agrees, nobody disagrees with it. I said, if you believe everything that news and politics they are themselves not the victim. They are not the mean people. They are the people that are in their own metaverse, feeding each other and be totally codependent on each other. And they believe what they say. That's why we believe them. But when that's human-centric, you believe somebody that believes what he says. And you believe that. And especially if you can tell you and show you a picture. Okay, see this world is how the world goes under. See, there's a beating. And then you just show that beating. I know from me, when I moved from Austria to LA, the people, my friends, 15 years ago, said, are you guys okay? There was an earthquake and 7 earthquakes. And all my friends are called. And I said, we had an earthquake. I felt it, but nothing. And 99% nothing happened. But they show you only because they need the attention. And that's why I'm saying, go ahead.
That's why I've switched off media. I can't even listen to the radio anymore.
No, I don't listen to any
music on Spotify and even the advertisements are based on fear-inducing messaging about how you are lacking and how you are just never good enough, as you would say. Michaell, we've gone over time. I would go for the whole hour, and I hope I can twist your arm, and maybe we can do another series of these and keep unboxing more of humanity.
And this was for everybody. This was not for a special group. This was for everybody, for every human.
Yeah. Flores has given us one more point of interest here. If we are nature, we are purpose. We are made to thrive. If we are not nature, we are not purpose, and we won't thrive. Exactly.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Flores. And thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I hope to chat with you soon again. Thanks, Michaell.
Thank you.